Hey everybody. We're going live. And we're doing it now. And we're gonna help the world get better. And by better I mean more like me and more having to do with me. I'm Loki Hates You with Nerdbot, kind of. I mean, they're not here with me. Like, everything you'll see, like, I have to do all of this for you. For you. It's not for me. My life is perfect. Everything I do is great. And I pretty much got it all figured out. And that's why I want to help you. Let me help myself first by bringing my microphone a little bit closer. Hey, Wraith. Wraith is the only one here right now, and that's just fine. I just want to say the last advice column happened on Monday around 6 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, Karen. Karen, I'm working on your decal right now. Well, not right now, but like 5 minutes ago I was working on it. It's in progress, I promise. Oh, hey, Shannon. Hey, Roberta. Hey, Carol. Glad everyone's here. So we are just, oh boy. So we're just doing our thing. It's funny, I just got a message from the Nerdbot guy, and he wants me to do a thing right now, which he should know damn well that I can't do that right now because I'm doing a stream. So hopefully he watches this later and says, God damn, why would I do this to myself and to Loki Hates You, a close personal friend and a confidant, like the Golden Girls theme. Surely you understand. So today, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get some people to participate a little bit more than Monday. We have, of course, some people just who could not technically either call in via Google Chat or Google Hangouts. And so what we ended up doing was just chatting as we do through the YouTube comments, which you can see right on the microphone. It's right. See these guys? All these like little comments here. That's how people were interacting last time, and that's fine. Another way you can do it is by let's actually move that over a little bit. There you go. That way you don't. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so you guys can email me questions if you want to have it be a little bit more of a structured format, or if you want to think out your questions a little bit more. Email them to the address listed below, loki.shirley.hates.you@gmail.com. And you can put title line advice, and you can ask to A, literally B, have your face on this broadcast, and you and I will talk shit. I mean, it's good shit, but we will talk about stuff with each other in front of everyone. And, I'll give you some pointers on how to do the thing you want to do. So let's see what people are saying. Shannon, good luck getting the kids. Shannon, the decals are something that I do. If you go on the Nerdbot store, you'll see that there are Loki Hates You, Thor TV, Nerdbot, Nerdbot Girls, decals. Starting to kind of make a larger library of decals that are available. And Karen requested a custom-made one. It's not extremely specific about what she wanted, so I'm just kind of doing my best. It's a work in progress right now of a dragon. It's pronounced dragon. There's my first piece of advice for you. Just keep an eye out for that, because I'll be posting it when it's ready. So if anyone wants custom decals, they make great Christmas gifts. I mean, they're not extremely easy to wrap, in that they're basically a postcard with a sticker on it that you put on your car or whatever you want to put it on. But you know, you can still buy them for somebody if they like a thing. You know, maybe they like Star Wars, and I can make them Star Wars related decal, or Marvel. I'm thinking about making a Winter Soldier decal with the arm, kind of just the arm. People seem to like that I made a Loki Scepter decal. It's about 10.5 inches long, and made a few of those and sent them out to people. So if I can start rolling down that road with the different weapons used, maybe the different Infinity Gems and the different kind of vessels used to encapsulate them, such as the Eye of Agamotto, the Tesseract, all that sort of stuff. I think it would be cool to have a set of decals that are the different Infinity Gems. So, let's see what we got going on. Feel like we should have you point. I should wave when you point to our chat. Well, that, you know, you can do that. No one will see you unless you call in on the Google Hangouts. But keep that in mind. So, let's talk about our first piece of advice. And I have this pre-prepared, so watch this. Bing, check that out. Okay. So, I got an email from Lisa. And Lisa says, hi Loki, I need advice about dating. I find it easy to talk to guys online and to get my thoughts out when we chat online. But when I meet a guy in person, I'm very shy and I don't talk much. What should I do? So, I guess dating advice is tough because I've never been super great at really playing the game. So, you know, what I can tell you is this. You know, I shouldn't say you're right to be concerned, but like, if you're gonna meet somebody in person, yeah, you want to be friendly and you want to be talkative. And I think the biggest factor is to just talk like as if you're not on a date. Like, the biggest problem is here's the thing. I'm currently dating someone, and we've been together, I guess, more than 6 months now, and that's nice. And for years, I've been doing the Loki Hates You thing for years. And for years, I would say to people who are, you know, the Loki people, who would message me and be like, oh, you know, I'm really into Loki, da-da-da-da, what about you and me getting together? How about that? How about this? You like a little bit of this? And I would always say, no, this is a hobby. I don't want to really do this thing with someone who's into the character that I dress up as. And hey, Candace, and I don't want to be Loki as your boyfriend. I don't want to sleep with you and be I don't want to do anything in your life at all and have to act like Loki or have the expectation that I'm going to have my hair a certain way or I'm going to like be wearing a costume at any point during the proceedings. It's just not what I'm into. And I said it probably a million times. I could probably make a supercut of all the different streams I've done where I've said 120 times I would never date someone who follows the Loki page. And then I did. I'm going to tell you how that happened. It wasn't because my girlfriend said, oh, hey, I'm really into this character that you play. It was because when she messaged me, we started a real conversation, and it had nothing to do with dating, and it had nothing to do with me being into her or her being into me. It had to do with something very utilitarian. She was planning to move to Los Angeles, and she was like, hey, where do you think is a good neighborhood to live? What do you think is a good sort of place to start looking for jobs? Like, have you seen people getting hired in this area or this area? And we had a real conversation. And the problem with what you're mentioning here in this area, chat online, that's a problem. Because when you chat online, you're almost guaranteed to have shared interests with someone, and that's not good. that's no bueno. Like, if you're in the Harry Potter fandom and you're in, like, a Harry Potter message board that's talking about Harry Potter and Hermione and Snape and all that crap, I don't even, that's all the characters I know pretty much. I think there's a Ron in there somewhere. You're gonna run into the problem of the fact that, like, you guys don't know each other as people, you know each other as, like, fans. Partners, like, fans that, like, are, like, crazy about something, and then you meet each other, and eventually you start to realize that, like, oh, we're into the same things, like, but you chew with your mouth open because you're a fucking monster, and that's a problem for me. And that's the sort of stuff that a first date should be about. It's like just sitting down with someone and being like, what's wrong with me? Like, what's wrong with you and what's wrong with me? What's great about each one of us that has nothing to do with our hobbies or, like, what Tumblr is saying or celebrity gossip or whatever. And the online relationship can be great, but I think that dating should start as a regular conversation between two people who are trying to, like, work towards a goal that is in their own interest. Man, I could give you some really bad advice and say meet somebody at work or start dating one of your friends that you've known for years, but that's probably not going to work out for you either. What I would say is use that online chatting strength. Get on OkCupid. Don't do Match. Don't do one of those pay sites, farmersonly.com. Because, I mean, I don't know how many farmers are near you. The Farmers Only might be great for you, actually. Do you live in Indiana? There's a lot of farmers out there. So what you need to do is so definitely do farmersonly.com. Give that one a shot. No matter how much it costs. If it's $340 a month, you got to pay that because, I mean, farmers are really the heart of our nation. And without them, we're nothing. And, you know, maybe that's what the basis of a good relationship and thusly a good marriage is farming. Knowing how to plant and cultivate and harvest corn, beans, wheat, radishes. I said beets already, right? And I said wheat and beets. And then, you know, you can become survivalists as well. When, I would say if, but I mean when, that imminent North Korean nuclear strike hits your city, which, I mean, at any given moment, we're only in Los Angeles, where I am, we're only seconds away. We're on the brink. Let's face it. I've got days, at best, to live before the shockwave just washes over me and everything I love and everyone I know in this city, decimating every atom of our very genetic makeup, and we will be utterly destroyed. Where was I going with this? Dating is purposeless. Build a bunker. You know, what you got to do is, instead of looking out and saying, hey, that dude that I saw on the internet is fine, what you need to be doing is getting on Amazon and searching for gas masks and meals ready to eat, a generator that's powered by a bicycle would be good. There's some sort of large battery array that will power any electrical devices a few years into the future. You got to start researching how long it takes for nuclear winter to fade. I mean, there's a lot to learn out there about online dating and about surviving, famine, radiation poisoning. Oh God, so many things. There's so many things to really look into as far as how am I gonna survive in today's workaday world, and tomorrow's post-apocalyptic wasteland. And I think that's a great way to build an online dating profile. Focus on your strengths. Say, hey, I got canned goods. I got a water distilling, those pills you drop in water that make it less poisonous. I got, some steel-toed boots. I got a rifle with plenty of ammo. Whew, I got a riot shield. I can fit through small windows, and crawl through like ducts and stuff. I know how to start a fire with just my tits. Like, that's a big turn on for guys. Is like, we didn't start the fire, but we were going to need to once Putin pushes the button. These are real issues. And that's why I'm here, is to help you guys get through them. So yeah, I mean, that's really the only advice that's been asked for through the email channel. But everybody else is welcome to ask what you want. And I mean, I can keep going on about this, but let's talk about classic things to not market yourself as. But I mean, I guess the real problem here is that you feel shy when you meet with someone in person. So let's address that more specifically. You meet somebody in person. It's assumed you've arranged a date. Let me advise that right now. If you're gonna talk to someone online and you're going to arrange to meet them at some point, you're gonna want to make it official. You don't want to do a double date. You don't want to do a group thing. Not a Groupon. No skydiving Groupons for the first date, please. I've seen it too many times, and it always ends in tragedy. You think, oh, we're going to go skydiving. It's going to be exciting. We're going to show that we're both adventurous. We're going to learn something together. We're going to get to talk. Well, here's the first problem. Planes, too loud. You don't get to talk much. You're trying to like build a bridge, but all you're really doing is putting yourself in a very, very noisy situation. And you're sitting there and you're anxious and you're just staring at each other across the plane like a couple of paratroopers flying over Normandy on D-Day. And you're just giving each other the stare. And it's not the good kind of stare. It's not that like advice you get from an internet article where you look at each other for 2 minutes straight and fall in love with each other and get married. If you've ever read that article, which I have, and I've never tried it, because honestly, I'm more scared of, I think, getting married than I am of jumping out of a plane. So, okay, so now you're in the plane, right? It's your first date with this guy. He's there, you're there. You can't talk to each other because you don't have the cool little, microphones coming off your helmets. You just got these two jump instructors now, and they're in the mix. And these guys, let's face it, they're handsome, they're ripped. They're climbing in and out of planes all day. So now you've got two guys that make your date feel insecure. And then what happens is they're about to open the doors of that plane. You get one of these beautiful skydiving super warriors strapping himself to your date's back and then on your back. How do you think he feels about that? Maybe he's super into you. You already got some stranger dry humping you before the middle of the date, before the climax of the date. That is called jumping jumping the shark, but it's like jumping out of a plane. So it's called jumping the hatch. It's called pulling the cord too quick. There's a lot of names for it. So, we've ruled out skydiving as a first date. You don't want to bring any friends with you. It's stacking the deck against your date too much. You know, there's too much familiarity between you and your friends. You go out and you're like, hey, let's go get coffee. It'll be you and me and my friend Karen. So now Karen's there, and you like this guy. You're into him. You know what he looks like. You know how he feels about politics, how he feels about his family, how he feels about hiking. That's necessary in any online dating profiles to say how you feel about hiking. And you get in there, you get to that coffee shop, and he's like, hey, nice to meet you. You give him a hug because that's, it's warm. It's a warm greeting, and you do it, and it's great, and you guys like each other. You've got chemistry. But Karen doesn't want to be there. So now you gotta say, oh, and this is my friend Karen. Now he's like shaking hands with Karen? What's that about? She doesn't feel that warmth. She doesn't feel that physical chemistry with him now. Oh. God, Karen is an asshole. Anyways, so you guys now, you order some coffee. And he, like, buys you coffee, but he doesn't know what to do with Karen. So, like, he's bought you coffee and he's bought himself coffee. And now he, like, looks at Karen and he's like, oh, fuck. All right, and whatever she's having, too. So now, like, on a separate check, he also pays for Karen's, like, thing. And she's feeling like a real jerk. So she orders, like, a double shot mochaccino frap mix thing. And, like, now he's out, like, an extra $12. And they spell, like, Karen with, like, a Y. So she's, like, pissed off about that, and he doesn't know how to empathize. But you do, because you've seen it happen before, so, like, you and her have a laugh about it, but, like, he doesn't, because he's out of the loop. And then, you're trying to talk to this guy, and everything that you've already talked about online, the guy's like, gotta explain it again. Fucking Karen, get the fuck out of here. But you can't, because she's a friend. He's gotta be nice to her, so he's gotta, like, go through all. And you know what? She's actually starting to warm up to him now. And now you're like, oh my god, Karen, you're gonna get in on my shit? I asked this dude out to coffee. He bought you a coffee. That's practically you buying him a coffee. What now? He's gonna get her number? I don't fucking think so. So now, you, as the person who asked this dude out on a date, you got to start negging Karen in front of him. Now you're you're taking steps towards ending a friendship so that you can get something rolling with this dude. He's a good dude. Like, yeah, he's not as gainfully employed as you would have hoped for your next boyfriend, but, like, you can deal with it. Like, he's working on it, and he's got some good prospects. The wheels are turning. So now, like, you casually mention that, like, Karen has mono. Like, just like, oh, how's that going, Karen? Like, you're sleepy all the time. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. And so now he's like, oh, Karen's got mono. So, you think you're back on track. Karen's a little bit pissed off. That's fine. She can enjoy her expensive coffee. The dude, who I have yet to even mention his name, because we don't want to get too serious about this, he's back on your case hard. He's on you, jock. And he's into you, you're into him. The chemistry's good. But you've got to keep the conversation going. So you want to make yourself more attractive. Here's a classic mistake. You just set Karen up for the fall. Said she's got mono. You forget about that, right? You totally forget you even said that. Start talking about college. College was so crazy. Oh my God. We drank all the beers. Well, how many beers did we have? Doesn't matter. We drank them all. We went to parties. It was toga parties. It was costume parties. None of those racist the fraternity parties where it was like, do ghetto stuff and then everyone ends up dressing like some sort of insensitive racial stereotype. Not that stuff. Don't talk. Never ever talk about that regardless. I mean, don't go to those parties, then don't talk about it. Don't talk about how they even happen, because it's a real landmine or minefield. Just don't even go near it. College was crazy. And Karen's like, yeah, whatever. And you're like, hey, Karen, remember all those times you and I made out? Because you're like, maybe this guy likes a little bit of that. Maybe he's into a girl that's got a little diversification in her portfolio. You know what I'm saying? Problem is, you just told him Karen's got mono, then you tripped over your own words and said, oh, we made out a bunch. So now he's looking at the both of you and he's like, oh, I gotta get a goddamn tetanus shot now. I don't want to have the kissing disease. That's mononucleosis, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what mono's short for. He's not a doctor. I mean, I just told you he wasn't that gainfully employed. He's obviously not a doctor. Well, you don't recover from that one. But you live and you learn, and you move on to the next date. You go to coffee with somebody else. You don't bring Karen. You never go through the mono thing. You never bring up any racist college parties, and that's fine. That's what I'm trying to tell you from the beginning, is that you want to put yourself in a situation where you can come out on top. Lisa. You get yourself in a quiet place with this person, a safe place, a public place. Don't go on any anonymous internet dates with someone you've never really had any personal experience with or reason to trust in a dark, don't do midnight in Central Park. That's never ended well for anyone that I've ever heard of. Get yourself a coffee shop, get yourself a little bagel shop, I like a frozen yogurt. That was always my favorite online dating go-to, is you know what? Let's go get frozen yogurt, and if this sucks, I'm gonna eat my yogurt and get the hell out of here. And it did. It sucked almost every time. Because that situation where you do have chemistry with that person and you do like being around them and you like the way they talk, you like the way, they don't hug for too long. They don't hug for too short. They don't do a weird, they're not picking their teeth or fucking farting the whole time. Although farts can be funny if you find the right person. And they've got the right diet. So try that. And talk about things that you think are general subjects, not something that's specific to you. Talk about how work is hard. Yeah, you can talk about the specifics of your job, but it also leaves somebody open to participate and say, oh, my job is also very difficult, or very easy, or it sucks, or my boss is a dick, or whatever. But don't talk about a very specific fandom you have. It's going to be alienating. It's not welcoming. Man. It's been a half an hour. And I think that Lisa's gotten some of the most comprehensive advice that I've ever given. Unfortunately, no one else has written in with advice that they would like. So, I don't know, guys. Should I just call it a day? I'm gonna move this out of here. Is there anything else that we need to address today? Anybody in the room that needs to know, that needs to be enlightened, needs to really feel like they've gotten something out of this? Because, I mean, I don't. Wraith, hit me with a nonsensical question. If you feel like you have a rhetorical question that would make you happy to find an answer for, or would make you more interesting at cocktail parties, hit me. I'll see what I can do. I mean, if it's really nonsense, if it's like, you know, how can I make a plum truly the most aromatic of perfumes to wear to the zoo in order to attract the attention of various shrubberies, I will have no advice for you. But did Amada receive her package? I'm not sure which package. She did receive a package recently. If you're talking about the one that we mentioned in a different broadcast, maybe. If you're talking about any of the things that I ordered for her birthday, yes. If you're talking about something that you sent her, I don't think so. Although I haven't checked the P.O. box in a couple of days. If there are any new watchers watching who are interested in sending things to Loki Hates You's P.O. box, preferably not anthrax or bees, you can find that on the Loki Hates You Facebook page. In the About section, there is a P.O. box address where you can send things. Nice things. Please send nice things. Wraith asks, how do I strike fear into the hearts of many when I am tiny and short and very non-threatening looking? Well, Wraith, let me first advise against the fear tactic. That's called being a terrorist. And I don't give advice on how to be a terrorist. Okay, Karen, I will check the P.O. box, I think, later today. Wraith, if you want to be intimidating as a short person, there's a trick that I've learned, and I didn't find out that it was intimidating to people until I heard it from a few different people. What you gotta do... Oh, what do we got? What my mom used to do, grab their lapels and bring them down to your level. That's a problem. The other problem is, if you're actually that tiny and you grab their lapels and try to pull, you may end up doing a pull-up and bringing yourself up to their level, which is weird, and it may also result in a stretched shirt situation where you have to pay for a shirt, because now you've incontrovertibly destroyed someone's garment, and that's a problem. What I can recommend is staring contests. Eye contact fucking freaks people out. So, you walk into whatever room, whatever building, whatever public place you're in. The conversation's happening. When someone addresses you, you don't need to constantly be giving everybody the eye. You know, that makes people think you're some sort of Wiccan sorceress that's, you know, going to hex them and leave them infertile or something like that, which is a terrible stereotype and honestly, you know, is undeserved of the Wiccans. So you get in there and someone introduces themselves to you. There's a lot of people who will tell you that a firm handshake is the best sort of dominance establishment that you can get. However, I mean, like you said, you're tiny. By proxy, you're going to reach your hand out. They're going to be grabbing like the, essentially the same as like literally a drumstick, the stick that you use to pound on a drum with. And it's like holding a doll hand, because your hand, you, Wraith, like your hand is only as big as like a Barbie doll's hand. And you're not going to get a real powerful handshake out of that. But what you can do is just this. Laser beams. No smile. Straight face. Just unemotional. And they may say something to you. How are you today? And you don't want to come off as evil. Like, Children of the Corn, I know you're from Indiana. Like, Children of the Corn is not the way to go. But you want to give them a straight answer. Eye contact. How are you doing today? I'm doing good. How are you? or I'm doing well. However, whatever was beaten into you by your third grade teacher about, like, Superman does good, you're well, or whatever. Just answer it how you're going to answer it. But keep this face straight up and down, eye contact. Next person talks to you. So you're talking to this guy over here. Somebody else approaches you from the right. And you say hello to them as well. And you can keep doing this until they've proven that they're a trustworthy person, until they prove to you that they're not going to try to take advantage of you. They prove to you that every question they ask is respectful, and every answer you give is respected in return. Another thing that helps with that is to just have a little container. Like, if you've ever seen a stink bomb, like one of those little glass vials that a stink bomb comes in, just have a little bit of that, like a little tiny vial with your pee-pee in it. And when somebody asks you or introduces themselves to you, don't show it to them. Just have it like in like a little, like a bracelet. And if it can have a little spray top, like a sample canister of a perfume, just right on. That's what goes on their lapel. That's the lapel action that you want as a tiny person who's trying to be intimidating. A little bit of pee-pee mist right on the lapel. And they might not even know it's there, but we're animals. We're animals, and we react as animals in some sort of evolutionary sense. And they're going to be like, I think I smell a very small person's pee-pee very close to my face. And you'll see them literally shrink just a little bit. Just like, I've just been pee-peed on. And that's bringing them down to your level. Not completely, but it helps. Just taking them down a peg. There's an old story, and it was on a television show I love called The Upright Citizens Brigade, about a man who had incredible business acumen. He had the wherewithal to make the best deals. He's basically what Donald Trump claims to be, and I'm not going to get into a conversation about Donald Trump today. What I'm going to talk about is businessmen and doing business and being dominant and being a shark. And this is not my material, by the way. This is not my story. I'm just rehashing this story. And he's out golfing with his friend, and his friend says, hey, I got a big meeting coming up, and I could really use an edge. How do you always keep one step ahead of the competition? How do you always get the wool pulled over your eyes of the people that you need to really show the business to? And he says, I don't know if I can, and the mentor says, I don't know if I can really reveal that secret to you, because I don't know if you can handle it in an adult way. And he says, come on, give me the advice, give me the advice. So he says, all right, I'll tell you, but this is serious advice, and I need you to be on board with this and listen to what I'm saying. He says, okay, yeah, I'll listen to what you're saying. I'm on this. I'm latched on. So the mentor says, this highly powerful businessman says, every day I need you to take, and it's I forget the exact amount he says, but let's say $5. I think he says some ridiculous amount, like $20. But let's say $5. Go to the bank, cash out $5 in pennies. You take those rolls of pennies and put them up your ass. And the guy says, fuck you, I don't need this. Yeah, he says, listen to me right now. The next day, you take those $5 in pennies, and whatever you buy, whether it's lunch or a new tie clip or whatever, you use those pennies. You hand those out. But that morning, you're also going to put a new $5 worth of pennies up your ass. Do that every day of your working life. So the guy that's asking for advice says, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you doing right now? And he's like, oh, you don't think this works? Let me tell you something. Whenever I walk into a business meeting, I look around that room and I know that for years, my ass pennies have been circulating throughout the United States. And someone in that room will most likely, in their pocket, be carrying something that was up my ass. It's a big self-esteem booster. And that's how you do it. So, I mean, really, there's more to the story where the learner continues to question the mentor's methods and so on and so forth. But what I'm trying to say to you is, pennies up your ass can be a major advantage in business dealings and in establishing yourself as a person to be taken seriously. Also, any injuries sustained from copper poisoning, I claim absolutely no responsibility for. Hey, Mina. You got here just in time to see us talking about putting pennies in our assholes. Moving on. Does anyone else have a thing that we need to talk about before we cut this short? We might make this a 45-minute job today. We've gone over my usual sales pitch. You guys are going to be seeing a couple of new decals hitting the marketplace. You're going to be seeing you're going to be seeing maybe more advice podcasts or broadcasts if I can manage to. Hey, Eris, good to see you, Eris. If you'd like to talk about anything in particular, call it out now, or else this thing is going to be ending soon. I can probably go until for another 15-20 minutes, but not if we don't have something to talk about. So yeah, but like I said, if we are going to be cutting this short today and doing a 45-minute guy, then, please go and check out the Nerdbot store. There's Loki Hates You prints and merch. Great for the holiday season for the Loki Hates You lover in your life. There's also Nerdbot t-shirts, beautiful jewelry by Bees Beads, and many, many more. And more to come as well. There's going to be a NerdBotCon commemorative photography book at some point in the future. And there's also going to be more prints of the Nerdbot girls if you're into that sort of thing. Mina, you should. Actually, I think there is a special right now. The Nerdbot Strikes Back t-shirts are on, I think there's a few dollars off, so now's the time to order if you want to get one. Are you and Thor TV going to do more sketches, or did anyone already ask that? Well, we would love to. Unfortunately, Thor TV and I don't get to see each other much, and especially now that, we're both kind of hard up for cash. Like, we don't really get to travel to one another all that much. And he actually just got engaged, so if you want to say congratulations to Thor TV, make sure you do that. But we always plan on making a sketch when we're going to see each other, and then we see each other, and the weekend or whatever amount of time that we're supposed to spend together ends up being cut short or very busy or whatever it is. So we would love to, but we don't have any plans to do so. Yeah, guys, if you want, please go and say congratulations to Thor TV. I don't think it's any big secret that he's engaged. I hope not, because I just blew it, if it is. So, do I have a stand-in Thor bro? I know a lot of Thors. I would never presume to say that any of them are a stand-in for Thor TV. But I mean, if you look hard enough, you can find photos of me with other Thor cosplayers. Actually, I have a Thor cosplayer friend whose name is Thor in real life. It's pretty trippy. I also know a few other people. I mean, on a very surface level of like, hey, how are you doing? It's good to see you again, sort of acquaintances. I've gotten to meet the great Magnus Beasticus of Instagram fame a few times. He's a nice guy. I've very briefly chatted with what's his name? Thor of Oz, I think, over various social media channels, I think. And there's some other Thors I've met as well. There's a really nice guy up in New England who I've bumped into a couple of times. Who, it's just always cool to see. I mean, I know all the Thors. If you dress like Loki enough, you'll end up getting buddy with some Thors. That's gonna happen. The pic of you and Thor TV at dinner circulating Google Plus. Wow, Eris, I am truly surprised that anyone is doing anything on Google Plus at all. So God bless you for doing the Lord's work there. But yeah, looks like we're gonna wrap this one up, guys. It's 12:45. Please drop by Thor TV's channel if I can find something in the PO box today. Maybe we'll do another broadcast even tonight. We'll see. Because if Amada's got a package, we're gonna open that bad boy up. All right, everybody. You have a good one, and I will see you. We'll try Monday at 6, but man, here's the thing. You guys got to email me some more topics to talk about. Me rambling on for half an hour to 45 minutes about a single question is making me a little anxious. So, Andrada, welcome. I would recommend, if you want to catch another advice cast, tune in on Monday at 6 o'clock. We'll try it again. Email me at this address that you see here. Oh, I got my fingertips. This address right here, from here to here, around these points. Email me there. Title it advice, and I will put it in the next broadcast. Or if you want to do it live, email me and say, hey, I want to be your guest live on the email at the Loki Hates You advice broadcast. I might just start putting some plants in there. I might just start having some people who have questions, who I've fed questions to, just do it so that you can see what it looks like when people call in. But man, it is dead in here. Last couple of broadcasts. We'll find a way though. Ask more questions, but I got here late. Well, Eris, I'm working on pretty much everything Nerdbot right now. So stay tuned to nerdbot.com and follow all Nerdbot's various social media channels for more of what I'm doing, because I've got a hand in almost all of it, except for the Nerdbot girls stuff. They have their own whole world with that. It's cool, Eris. Nobody's mad at you. We're not, we're not mad. It's just, you got here when you got here. I'm fine with that. Next time, we'll get you for the entire hour or whatever it ends up being. But for now, everybody, have a good day, have a good night, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, have a good morning, dawn, dusk, twilight, all that stuff. I'll miss you, and I love you. Goodbye.